Hello. So this is my week 2 video of trying to grow from rock bottom and fix my life. My name is Garrett. I'm going to give just like a very brief recap at the beginning of each of these videos, just for anyone who's watching it for the first time, of what rock bottom actually meant for me. I between like 13, I'm 25 now, between 13 and now, I've struggled a lot with like porn addiction, and kind of just like extreme insecurity, struggles with perfectionism and not feeling worthy, and smoked a lot of weed and just kind of craved instant gratification as a whole. At some point, like really crashed and was watching like 5 to 10 hours of porn a day and smoking weed all day, every day, and just there was this like I just became an addict in every sense of the word, and kind of just let my life self-destruct. And over the course of a couple of years of doing that, I could not hold down a job, accumulated like $30,000 of debts, had no money, gained like 50 pounds of fat, just had no sort of like mental strength. Was very depressed and anxious and confused about like why I was letting myself do this to my life. And the porn addiction escalated into really extreme porn and visiting escorts, both trans and female, which was extremely terrifying to me, confusing and shameful, and led me to the point where I wanted to kill myself. So yeah, that is kind of the bottom I was at for about a year. I was just really completely broke. I let my life kind of fall apart for years, and that was about a year and a half ago. I've grown out of that. This is kind of the beginning of my documentation of trying to grow more than anything. I'm not in that place anymore. But yeah, so right now I'm just kind of tracking my progress as I try to develop myself into the person I want to be. So how I'm doing these videos, each time I am just looking through my week, and yeah, just I track all of the changes I'm trying to make in a spreadsheet I created. That kind of allows me to just see, like, really measure everything and see did I stick to my goals or not. This week was pretty good. I mean, compared to my baseline, compared to where I was like 2 months ago, and especially compared to how I've been the last few years, it's exceptional. Um, Main categories I'm tracking right now are my work input, finances, positive habits, and negative habits. For work input, it was that was the worst category by far this week. I only had 3 out of 6 days where I worked all of my intended hours, but I only missed those by a little bit on 2 of those days, and I still worked 56 hours, which is pretty good. My financially made 1,550, spent 600, so I saved over 900. That's well past my goal, both for income made and savings. Positive habits, which at this point are like daily framing, meditation, exercise, and uh, texting my accountability partner. I am 28 for 28, which that's been about 7 weeks in a row. 7 or 8 that I've gotten a perfect score in that area, which super happy about. Like, I very much believe in the concept of momentum. I've kind of learned over my experience that it is really important to set attainable goals, especially when you're at a point where you're a pretty weak person. You need to start off small and stack wins and build momentum and slowly take on more and more. So I'm very excited about that momentum that's being built. And with uh, my negative habits, the only one I'm really tracking at this point is pornography. So I have Hours of porn consumed, escorts texted, escorts visited. Um, with my urges I felt for this week, I overcame four, which, I mean, that's something I at this point haven't watched porn for getting to about 2 months, somewhere in there, which, again, like, according to, relative to where I've been the last, like, 5 years of my life, that is exceptional. And I'm extremely happy with that. I can feel the positive effects with my, self-esteem, my confidence and my ability to follow through on what I say I'm going to do, just my belief in my ability to actually accomplish the things I'm trying to accomplish. Like, I just feel significantly better about myself and my life, and I think the removal of that is a huge part of that feeling for me. Because for years I knew I wanted to remove it from my life, and I just kept doing it, and the cognitive dissonance that creates, where I just don't trust myself to follow through on anything when I'm continuously going against my own word and my own promise to myself. Yeah, that's just amazing. I feel exceptional about where I'm at with my negative behaviors. The urges overcome. That's extremely exciting to me too, because it's not like in the past when I had moments of success. It had been mostly because I just kind of had periods where I stopped feeling the urge, and I think that was a lot of the time just because I was so miserable that emotionally the urge just died off for a little bit. But as soon as it came back, I would just fall back into the pattern. And this time around, I feel like I've really figured out a tool to consistently overcome urges. It's been like I felt 40 or so urges over the last month and a half, and overcame every single one of them through a combination of, as soon as I have any sort of thought relative to, like, escorts, pornography, masturbation, fantasy, anything that could lead to the thought process of, like, I want to look at porn, I immediately text my accountability partner and just say, I want to do this right now. I never do that thing, so I'm going to do this instead. And I always meditate instead for 3 minutes, and then move on to either the work I'm trying to do or the next thing that I have set for my day. And then meditate, and set a timer after I meditate for an hour to follow up and say I either did watch porn or I didn't watch porn. Yeah, I'm just very excited by the fact that that's working consistently. So all around, I mean, it's been an exceptional week. I'm really happy with where I am right now. I will say I don't love 3 out of 6 full days worked. I mean, that is, I would say, lowest priority for me, between positive habits and negative habits and finances. Like, 40-ish of my hours per week are pretty much guaranteed. I'm not going to bail on that. I work at a restaurant, and yeah, I show up for work. So a lot of those hours are just going to happen. It's more my work on progress theory and yeah, the work on the business I'm trying to create that gets sacrificed on weeks where I don't complete my goal. And on Monday specifically, my goal for hours worked on Monday is 7, and I only worked 2.5. And I felt very shitty at the end of Monday, and started kind of ruminating on, like, this was a failure of a day, even though I wasn't procrastinating in the same methods I used to, of just watching porn, watching shows, smoking weed, just doing things that are just pure escapism. I was socializing with a lot of people that some of it was planned, some of it was unplanned, but I felt very shitty about the fact that, like, I said I was going to do this and I didn't follow through. And I've made a very conscious effort in the last few years to just really reframe my thought process when it comes to failure and not hitting my goals. I used to be extremely perfectionistic in how I saw my own worth and how I saw my behavior in the world. I would become very angry and like anxious and afraid when I didn't hit my goals perfectly, because I would start to get very scared of like, if I can't completely hit my goal, then I'm not gonna completely accomplish. If I can't, sorry, if I can't hit my goal today perfectly, I'm not gonna keep up with my goal for the year, and then I won't keep up for my goal for 5 years, and then I won't keep up for my goal 30 years from now. And I just get very angry with myself and kind of hate myself and feel terrible and ruminate on it. And I think that was a big part of the addictive behavior I experienced, was this worthlessness that was kind of at the core of everything that was driving. It was both my motivation to act out with negative behaviors, and it was my motivation to complete positive behaviors, because I felt worthless and I felt like I needed to accomplish extraordinary things to have value. And I've really tried to reframe that and recognize like I am a tiny human being in an absurdly large universe. I know nothing. I'm incredibly ignorant. It is so foolish for me to hold my happiness or my sense of self-esteem and well-being captive to the perfect attainment of these goals that I set as a person who has very little actual control. There's a lot of factors that I just am not even aware of. I can't control even if I am aware of them. So I've really tried to do better about reframing and focusing on just take the lesson from the failure, learn how to change, learn what needs to change about my views of the world, and incorporate the lesson, move on. And I've definitely gotten better than what I used to be. I think this week did highlight a little bit of that mindset is still there, where on Monday night I was just sitting there for an hour or two just feeling shitty. And I didn't catch the fact that like I don't need to feel shitty. I need to just think through, okay, like what went wrong today? Why did it go the way it did? And how can I adjust? So yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I still have a lot of work to do in that area of identifying those emotions and the thoughts that kind of fuel them, and just immediately calling it out of like, I don't need to feel this way. Just take the lesson and move on. So yeah, I mean, all things considered, the only thing I'm really focused on this next week is just trying to get a little bit of an earlier start on some of my less structured work days, and especially on Monday. Monday's the day where I have struggled the most with. I have struggled the most with consistently hitting my hours worked, or my intended hours worked, just not really letting me do anything recreational before the work is done. Like the days I failed, I tend to plan something with a friend earlier in the day and say I'll just work after, and then it's usually a lot harder for me to get myself to work all the hours I want to afterwards. So I'm just trying to kind of call out the thoughts if they appear of I want to go do this and then I'll just work after. Just recognize like, no, I want to work first. I want to get it all done so I can engage in that recreational time guilt-free and with the knowledge that all the work is complete. So yeah, I mean, that's what these videos are going to be. It's kind of me just taking a look at my week, analyzing numbers, and trying to kind of derive the lesson and identify the areas for improvement. At the end of all these videos, I'm also just going to like say all of the business I'm working on right now is called Progress Theory. It's an online community, and eventually I want it to be like a program built around helping its members create sustainable and over time massive progress in their life. It's very much in its infancy. It is not fully created by any means. But if you have any interest in joining at this point, it would just be me and you and a couple other people kind of holding each other accountable, discussing growth, our goals, the changes we want to make in our life, and kind of pushing each other to make those changes. The link is down below. Like I said, it is nowhere near what it's going to be one day. So the price very much reflects that. And if you don't want to join at this point or want to just wait it out and see what it's like in the future, I very much understand. But yeah, besides that, until next week, I appreciate anyone who's watching these videos completely. And I hope you all experience the growth you're looking for. Thanks.